2010 Atlantic Coast Conference Preview, 2010 Football Edition. Last year we had the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets winning the ACC after they defeated the Clemson Tigers. Of course, we remember Clemson for losing the South Carolina game in their rival game. But Nick Taylor, what's going on, big man?
Oh, nothing much. How's it going, Dan?
2 weeks away from tonight, correct?
That's right. 2 weeks away, and once again, South Carolina is the opening game this year. But before we get to all that, let's get back into the ACC. Obviously, from my perspective, I think the championship game in the Atlantic Division, and for those that don't know, that is the division that comprises Clemson, Florida State, Wake Forest, NC State, Maryland, and I'm leaving out one other team. This is the division, and Clemson and Florida State are believed to be...
Oh, you got Wake Forest in that division.
Yes. And Clemson and Florida State are believed to be the two main contenders of that division.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Seminoles. I have Florida State winning the Atlantic Coast Conference this season. Look at the 5-year trend. You got an 8-win season, back-to-back sevens, another 9-win season, and then last year Bobby Bowden going out with a 7-win season. That's not too bad. That is average, but a Nick Saban protege, and Jimbo Fisher, he's been sitting back for a few years. He's ready at this. Heck, we saw what he can do on the recruiting side of things yesterday in Plant High School in Tampa with James Wilder Jr. So he's getting the recruits, but focusing back on the field for the 2010 season, he's got the talent there. He's recruited nicely behind the scenes. He's been pretty much the recruiting guy instead of the head coach in waiting, and he's ready to step in. I'm not going to go as far as Tim Brando and say that they're going to be in Glendale losing to the Alabama Crimson Tide in the national title game, but I do like them to win the ACC, and I like them to defeat the Virginia Tech Hokies.
I like them to win the ACC as well. I do think they could lose to Oklahoma and Florida, so they could be like an 8-4 team in the regular season, but still end up winning their conference. And the main reason is because if Virginia Tech loses to Boise, gets derailed, loses a couple extra games, it's very possible an 8-4 team could win the ACC championship. I do think that I'm going to go with a Cinderella, though, in the other division. I'm going to take the North Carolina Tar Heels. They got a lot of guys back on defense. I think the Boise game could derail Virginia Tech if they lose it. So I'm going to go with Florida State beating North Carolina in the ACC championship game with the Seminoles winning and, of course, securing the automatic bid to the Orange Bowl.
Well, everybody's looking at Christian Ponder. He is the workhorse on that team. But the Florida State offense will go just as far as Jermaine Thomas will go. Don't you agree, Nick?
I completely agree. I think that one thing that Jimbo Fisher's going to do, even though he's got a quarterback in Ponder, they can do a lot of things and even run some spread formations.
Speaking of the spread formations, check out the Sports Atlas week by week on those lines, because look and see what Florida State's matching up against a run-stopping defense, because Jermaine Thomas is the workhorse who will cut those gaps, and as many yards as he can, as more touchdowns Florida State gets. Check out the over-under. What's the website, Nick?
It's csportsatlas.us, and of course I know you have your page you want to plug out, but the main thing I see about Florida State real quick is the fact that Jimbo Fisher is going to emphasize, even though he's got a passing quarterback, he's going to bring in that mental toughness, that Nick Saban mentality of getting down, blocking and tackling and executing each play. And he's going to bring Florida State back to their winning tradition. Congrats to them for getting a great coach in Jimbo Fisher, and I think they're going to be in the Orange Bowl, and I see you agree. So
my under the radar ACC team this season will be the Boston College Eagles. You got Dave Shinsky, quarterback, sophomore. Look what he did last year. First time getting his feet wet. Just over 2,000 yards passing, 15 touchdowns. I mean, Montel Harris. He's ready to step up. He's a junior. I mean, sure, his numbers only give him 300 yards last year, but look how he did it on averaging 4.7 a carry. So you score 14 touchdowns. I think you resemble a Tim Castile type of running back, don't you agree?
Absolutely. My player of the year in the ACC's got to be Christian Ponder, but my player to watch is Kyle Parker, the great quarterback and great baseball player also at Clemson. The Auburn-Clemson game is going to be a huge, huge game. And even if the Tigers don't win the ACC, they're going to have a good record. And possibly if Boise, slips up the ACC, could get two teams in. Miami and Clemson could be a couple of teams on the outside with opportunity to get a BCS game. Really high on Clemson as well, but I mainly picked Florida State because they're hosting Clemson, and that was the tiebreaker for me.
All right, well, quickly, one last thing. Tell everybody what's going on with the basketball and grass tour.
Repeat that?
One last thing. Tell everybody, all the listeners, what's going on with the basketball and grass tour.
Oh, absolutely. Dan will be going to Raleigh-Durham to cover the Alabama-Duke game the weekend of September 18th, but he's also going to make a stop in Chapel Hill and hopefully catch up with Butch Davis and Roy Williams at North Carolina. The night before, I believe you guys are going to the NC State-Cincinnati game in Raleigh as well. Is that correct?
That is correct, and I just received a text message from one of our voters in the poll. Give out the name, please.
One of the voters in the poll?
Yeah, Vince Allen. Vince Allen sent me a text message today, and it looks like we may be headed to Blacksburg on the way over that Wednesday night before the Thursday night game to stop in, do a show on Virginia Tech's campus.
Oh, that'll be great. I know we've been working on that for quite some time. We're good friends with Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator at Virginia Tech, so that'll be a treat. And hopefully we're going to try to get someone from Boise on as well before that game. Can't make a guarantee, but we're working on it. It's definitely one of the biggest games of the year. So many BCS implications on that one game that'll be played at FedEx Field. And
tomorrow, I guess we'll have, the Big East Conference?
Yes, that's correct. We're going to do it alphabetically just so we make sure we hit everybody. So everybody tune in, but we have Florida State winning the ACC and going to the Orange Bowl.
And tell everybody where the Big Ten preview will take place.
And the Big Ten preview will be live from Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. We'll be at the Braves-Cubs game, but we'll also be breaking down the Big Ten. And obviously, I think everybody knows where we're going to go with that, but we'll leave that till Saturday as we cover the Big Ten live from historic Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois.